welcome to the Mitzvah Party Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything that has to do with mitzvah parties. Oh my goodness. This is episode number 8. We're recording this on Wednesday, April 25th, 2018. My name is Clint Hupton, and with me is the guy that knows every little tiny detail of a mitzvah party, the one and only Gil Zuniga. Gil, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Clint. How are you?
Oh, my life is fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome.
Gil is with Gil Zuniga. No, I screwed that up, Gil. I should do it every single time. Actually, I should just let you do it. Gil, tell us about you.
No, you're actually absolutely correct. It's Gil Zuniga Entertainment, but I just don't say Gil. I just say Zuniga Entertainment. So Zuniga Entertainment. That's it.
Yeah, but the website is Zuniga Entertainment.
Correct. But legally, it's Gil Zuniga Entertainment.
Oh, I see. Yeah. The name of the company. I get that. But people are going to, want to try to find you. So it's ZunigaEntertainment.com. And
.com.
I went to Gil just to give you a little background. Those of you that are joining us for the first time, Gil and I have known each other for a really long time. And I can pretty much vouch for the fact that Gil has worked 5 billion mitzvah parties. And I also have done my fair share. And so we thought, you know what? There's so much to explain and talk about, and there's stories to tell and all that kind of stuff, which brings me, Gil, to today's episode. And the theme is?
The theme is food.
Food.
Yeah, I was having lunch with a mitzvah buddy of mine who's done a lot of mitzvahs as well. And we were sitting there eating lunch. And then we started all of a sudden talking about food at mitzvahs. And I thought, oh, wow, that might not be a bad episode because it's so diverse. It's so diverse, the food that you can eat at a mitzvah. It's crazy.
See, now some people would think that the food has to be kosher, but that's not necessarily true.
No, it's not necessarily true. It all depends on the family and if they're Orthodox or not. And I'd say 90% of the time they're not. So it doesn't have to be kosher, I'd say. And then, but I don't really know unless I hear someone say, it's kosher today, or they've got the rabbi, the special cook in the kitchen because everything has to be kosher. But it's not as prevalent as it used to be. I think it used to be more when I first started many years ago, but not so much anymore. We've had stuff like In-N-Out truck.
Oh man.
I remember, I was in Orange County one time, and they said, today's meal is In-N-Out. And so what they did was they hired these girls to come on rollerblades to serve the food.
Oh, what a great touch.
It was all In-N-Out. And I think, not come to think of it, I think I hired the girls on roller skates. One of my dancers had a roller skate troupe. That's right, I did. I hired them. It was through me. And so they had the big. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. So it was at the Marconi Museum, car museum. That's what it was.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it was at the car museum.
You know why that works? Because the surface of the Marconi, because they have to roll in all the cars. This is a museum with vintage cars. Probably about 100 of them, I guess, are in there. It has to be like smooth cement, so that makes it easier for the roller skaters.
Right. So they just loaded up with burgers, and they came in and they served everybody, and people were eating, and it was great. I think, and that wasn't the only time I've done In-N-Out truck at an event as well. But or food trucks, we've had food trucks at events as well with tacos and like a taco bar, and then they bring in a donut truck, or they bring in different types of trucks come in for a party as opposed to having a catering service, and I've done that as well. But normally it's either at a temple or a synagogue, and they've got a caterer, and you have your typical food. Sometimes you have just kids food. Most of the time you have just kids food. Then you have a menu for the adults. It could be a sit-down meal. If it's a sit-down meal, it's very rare a sit-down meal nowadays. More back in the day, but now it's buffets. You have a buffet for the adults, and you have one for the kids. The adults have meats and rice and salads and vegetables, and the kids have hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza, chicken fingers, salad, which never gets eaten at all. If they have vegetables on there, they never get eaten at all either, which I love that, because normally that's the first thing we all go to is salads. It's like, yay, salad. This is great.
Okay, now that's the first question is right there. Then when do you guys, as the entertainment, and then I'm guess all of the vendors that are working the event, when do you guys get to eat if it's a buffet? How does that work?
Well, there's a lot of different scenarios here. Okay. If we're in a big fancy place, most of the time, if they don't make arrangements for us to eat, we don't eat.
Oh.
And we were just talking about this yesterday. In fact, we were saying the ritzier the event, the more they don't think about us.
Yeah, the less the food for you guys.
Yeah, the less for food for us. And it's not all the time. It's not all the time, but quite a bit of the time. You're at the Four Seasons or the Ritz-Carlton or something like that, and the client just doesn't think about it. So a lot of times, what we'll do is when we're finalizing with a client, we'll say, because we know if it's a sit-down meal or buffet. And so if it's a buffet, I'll say something to the client like, now, is it okay if we eat off the kids' buffet? And they'll say, oh, yes, that's fine. Oh, that'd be great. Because that already puts it in their head. And then we double check at the event. We're just going to grab a little something from the kids' buffet. Is that okay? Oh, no, you guys go,
Yeah, but if the kids take 5 minutes to eat, or 30 seconds sometimes it feels like, then I think I remember one time working with you, Gil, you were the MC, I was the DJ, and you said that you made sure you ate before because you knew that it was going to be really hard to get any food during the event because, the kids require so much of your time and energy.
Yeah, well, I was a rookie back then. Now I'm a little more seasoned. I got better at it.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, yes. No, it's funny because I remember the first time I would cut in line, and then the guys behind me were like, what? My guys would say, you're cutting in line. I said, it's okay. We have to work. So you just go, hey, what's going on, guys? You have a plate in your hand. You say, hey, this looks really good. And you grab the tongs and you start putting it on your plate. And you just kind of this is how it works because you got to work. As soon as they're done eating, boom, you're up with them. So now.
So do you try to hide behind your console? How does that work?
I try to leave
sit in the chair?
Yeah, we try to leave the room within earshot of what's going on or within eyesight of what's going on. Because the worst thing is eating in front of everybody, the clients. Or sometimes there's a lot of empty seats at the kids' table. So we'll go sit down with the kids and talk to them and converse with them. How's it going? What's going on? Hey, what do you guys want to hear? Hey, we're going to be doing the wobble later. So you're conversing and you're eating, or we'll go outside to the foyer and eat. And then we'll eat in shifts a lot of times. So maybe I'll stay, send everybody to go eat, and then the DJ will finish. He'll come, and then I'll go scarf my food. Now, one of the things that we were talking about yesterday at lunch is that we are the fastest eaters on earth. We learned to chow down, not breathe, and just like the Coney Island hot dog guys that are dunking stuff, their buns in water and just swallowing, that's us at a party because we don't have a lot of time. So we have to learn to go wham, wham, bam, 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 done. And it's speed eating, and I've done it many times in the kitchen, in the hallways, and people were like, I remember people saying, "You're going to get sick eating that fast." It's like, no, we're just going to get fed. We're not going to get sick. We eat like this every Saturday day and Saturday night.
Did you have any problems with like indigestion or anything like that?
Not normally. It was the norm. It was the norm.
Like, you just train your body to do it.
But it is. And I've been at events where you see guys, where I'm not the DJ or the MC, but I'm at a party, maybe doing something else, doing lights or doing a video montage or something. And I've seen DJs eating at their station where they're DJing. And I thought, that doesn't look good. That just doesn't look good. So we've never, ever, hardly ever done that. Maybe in the early years we would do that. We'd like kneel down behind our stuff before iTunes. And that's probably when all that stuff happened, before you had iTunes where you could play a file during a meal and just let the songs go. Because in the early days, you had to play every song.
Right.
Right. Unless you
Yeah.
made a mixtape or something,
Right.
of songs, and call it the eating tape, where you can just go eat. But you had to sit there and change the records, change the 45. Am I aging myself here? Change the CDs. So, yeah. But nowadays it's so much easier. And then you come in, you look in the room. If everyone's still, if the kids aren't roaming around, you're good. You can just continue eating. But if not, you're done. So a lot of times I'll walk out and go, okay, we're done. Let's go. Everyone, just leave the plates. Let's go. These, the kids are roaming around. They're going nuts. They're bouncing off the walls. We got to do something with them. So we're in there doing a game or doing whatever it is with them. But and sometimes you don't get fed. Sometimes Beverly Hills Hilton, not Beverly Hills Hotel. I'm gonna go by Subway and grab myself a tuna sandwich, because I'm not gonna get fed. I'm not, and a lot of times the location won't feed you, or they won't, or if the client has set up vendor meals, right? Well, you're gonna get fed last. They're going to feed everybody, make sure that everyone eats, and this is probably 90% of the time. And then they're going to say, oh, now we have your food, and by then you're into the party again, and you don't have time to eat.
Yeah, see, there's the disconnect where one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. And
Right.
and it's amazing that it happens over and over again, and it's been happening for decades.
Oh, yeah.
They don't understand the requirements of the party. They only know. I've said this to many clients before, not just, weddings, social, whatever, that I'll say every single vendor kind of begins with their own agenda. And they really are looking at what's going to work best for them logistically, et cetera. And they don't take into consideration what's going to work best for the party as a whole. Right. Have you ever had a conversation with a caterer or with a room captain to kind of explain how that doesn't work?
We have. Well, if they approach me and say, we're going to have meals for you, I always say to them, can you make sure that you have them ready when the kids are eating? Because that's when we have to eat.
Right.
We won't have time. If we don't eat when the kids eat, we won't have time to eat. So if you could have them ready.
On that? Have anybody ever said no? You can't do that?
I have, and then I'll suggest we'll just eat off the kids' buffet, if that's okay. And or I'll walk up to the client and say, is it okay if we eat off the kids' buffet? And then 99% of the time they'll say yes. I don't remember anyone ever saying no.
Right.
But sometimes hotels don't allow you to do that. So, and I remember one time I was in Orange County and the hotel, we were lining up and they went, no, you guys can't eat off and I looked at the guy and I said, the client said we could. So if you'd like to go talk to the client, go right ahead. We need to eat while they're eating or else we won't eat. We won't get a chance to eat. Oh, well, it's like, yeah, come on, guys, think about it for a second. When are we going to get to eat? And, people don't think about that. They, but unless they say, the client were to say, which hardly, I can't even think of a time that's ever happened where the client says, make sure that you guys have eaten prior to getting to the event because we're not going to give you any food. I've never, ever heard that.
No, clients aren't self-aware. They're not aware of, you know what I mean? You don't know what you don't know. That's kind of like humanity.
When the problem with eating most of the time is when you got hired by the party planner.
Oh.
So if you're hired through the party planner, then you got to go to the party planner and say, are we going to get a chance to eat?
Right.
And a lot of times the party planners will do vendor meals and it'll be in a separate room. Right. They'll have it all set up for the photographer, for the videographer, for the caricaturist, or for whatever other vendors that are there that they're going to feed.
But so still the timing comes into play.
Right. Timing comes into play at the same time. And sometimes it doesn't happen. It's just, they'll walk up and say, hey, did you get a chance to eat? No, because we went back there, the vendor meals weren't ready. And so we had to come back out with the kids and start working again. And once again, no matter where we eat, how we eat at a party, we're wolfing down the food. We're just shoveling food in our mouths most of the time.
I want to go back to the interaction you had with that one hotel in Orange County where you got some pushback, like, no, you guys aren't allowed to be in the kids buffet. We have food for you. And the thing that I thought was key is that you had to explain. You didn't just say, no, talk to the client. You said, because, and you explained to him what the needs were and how this is your only option. And
because
I think
it wasn't ready. Right, because it wasn't ready.
But so that's the thing that a lot of people don't really think about in terms of communicating. They think in terms of defense or going on the attack as opposed to, we need to both understand each other. That's the key thing.
And a lot of times when we get to an event, we'll go over, once we're set up, like we'll identify the captain of the room, we'll identify, we'll walk up because we know everybody's names. We ask, who's the captain of the room, who's going to be in charge, who's the caterer, who's in charge. So when we get to a party, we're rolling in, we're looking for them, we're looking for Gail, we're looking for Ann, we're looking for David, who's going to be in charge of that. We're looking for the photographer, his name is Ron, so we can introduce ourselves. So we'd like to introduce ourselves to them prior to working. As soon as we see them, we walk up, say, hey, I'm Gil, I'm the MC. You're the photographer, whatever you need. Do you have an order of events? Do you know what's going on? So we go over that. But the caterer or the captain of the room, we introduce ourselves to specifically go over the order of events to make sure that we're on the same page. And then we'll explain to, not all the time because sometimes you forget, we'll say, and then when the kids eat, we're going to eat off the kids' buffet as well. And if they say, no, we have meals for you, and we try to tell the clients, don't do that because it costs too much money to do that, and we can just eat off the kids' buffet. It's much easier that way. But if they say,
I didn't even think of that they would have to pay extra for the.
Yeah, they have to pay extra for vendor meals. Could be $25 a piece.
Oh man,
where
sandwiches.
Oh yeah, and then weddings is a whole different thing, but for sandwiches, $25 at a hotel, it could be $25. So now they're spending $150, $200 where we could just walk up and get some salad and some pasta from the kids' buffet, a cup pizza, chicken fingers, and we're fine. So why spend all the extra money? I love saving my clients money. I'm the worst salesperson when it comes to selling, upselling and stuff, because I tell them, don't do this, don't do that. It's a waste, because I see a lot of waste.
That's the lesson from Miracle on 34th Street, where the Santa Claus, who I think we all know that was the real Santa Claus,
of course,
was saying, oh, we don't carry that here. I think you'll find it over at Macy's. The floor general comes up and says, wait, what are you doing? He said, well, you don't. And it turns out that respect and that I want to help you vibe is actually really good for business.
It is, as opposed to saying no, you'd have to have 4 dancers, or you have to have this big lighting system, you have to have that, you have to have it's like, no, you don't. I know what you need. I know I've done enough of these events. So, and food wise, why spend all that extra money? We can easily eat off the kids' buffet.
Have you ever had a vegetable platter or a vegetable buffet, and it included broccoli? And I don't know if you know this or not, but there's something about broccoli when it's sitting out that it really stinks. You ever notice that?
Yeah, I have noticed that.
Have you ever said to a client, by the way, you probably don't want broccoli?
No. But we have had vegetarian or vegan buffets. Don't like them so much. The kids are vegetarian, the kids are vegan, so there's no meat, there's nothing. The whole party is vegan. I've done events like that. The whole party is vegan. And it's like, oh, man, you're kidding.
Okay, so if it is vegan, Gil, then what's your go-to? Like, there's no meat for you, so what do you do? What do you eat?
A lot of salad.
Oh, okay. All right.
A lot of salad and vegetables.
I want to go back to the kids' favorite food. Do you suspect, now you and I both have kids that would have been or are in the bar bat mitzvah age range. I suspect that a kid will choose a menu, not necessarily their favorite food, but what they think all their friends are going to like to eat.
Friends will like, yeah.
And I would love if there was, during the process of getting to know the kid, say, by the way, they're going to pretty much do whatever you want. So if there's something that you really like to eat, make sure it's on the kids' buffet.
Right.
Don't worry about your friends. Make sure you get that one thing that you really want.
I'll say to the kid, and I love paella. Okay, I can do this. Get some paella and maybe some lobster. Paella and lobster.
Have you ever really
All
done?
right, a little steak. Come on, who doesn't love a good steak in the afternoon? Come on, little rib eye steak. Rib eye. It doesn't have to be filet mignon.
Your friends will love that.
They will love it.
Do
Chicks
it for
dig
them.
Ribeye. Yeah, chicks dig ribeye.
That's it. Chicks dig ribeye. That's good. I like that.
I only wish. It's always
what about
chicken
dessert?
fingers.
How do you time that? Because the kids are involved, and then I always thought of dessert as like recess for the entertainment.
Well, okay. This is funny. I was in Orange County, and I walked into the party, and this is the second child of this family that I'd done a party for. So I knew the family. They loved me. The dad was a doctor. He was in charge of everything. I walk in, loading, bringing my equipment in, and there was a photographer there that I knew. And I went, "Hey, how's it going?" Blah, blah, blah. And I looked over his shoulder, and there was a table of desserts.
Oh.
Okay. They're out doing cocktails, and then dessert out with plates, forks, everything. And I walked in and I looked at Bob. I went, "Bob, what's wrong with this picture?" And he went, "Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing too. Why is dessert out here now? People are going to come to it, like bees to honey." I said, "Yeah." So then the guy walked up to me, the captain of the room, said, "Hey, I'm Chris." I said, "Hey, I'm Gil." I said, "When you get a second, we'd like to go over the order of events, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "And one other thing," I said, "Why is the dessert table out?" He said, "Oh, well, we always put it out like that." I said, "It really shouldn't be out like that." I said, "At least take away the plates and the forks and stuff." I go, "No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." I said, "Okay." And I just walked away. I started loading up. I started unloading, setting up. The dad walks in, and I said, "Hey!" And it was funny because the captain of the room was walking up to him, but he just paid no attention to him, walked over to me, gave me a big hug, and said, "Hey, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be great. We're going to have fun, blah, blah." And I said to him, he said, "Is everything okay?" He said to me, "Is everything okay?" I said, "Everything's great, except for," I said, "the dessert table." I said, "You got a dessert table over there. It's got all the desserts on it. It's got plates and forks." I said, "They're going to walk in and they're going to start eating dessert." I said, "Can we put some cover?" He goes, "Oh my God. I guess, can we cover it up or something, or at least take the," he goes, "Yes, absolutely." So, and the guy standing there watching this conversation that I'm having with the dad, he says, "Oh no, absolutely." The dad goes, "No, absolutely. This is ridiculous. It shouldn't be out like that." And and so I looked at the guy and I said, "Chris, yeah, you don't have to take it away or anything." I said, "Just put some tablecloths over it or something. He goes, "Yeah, yes." So he went, "Okay." He was pissed.
Of course.
He was so mad. He was so mad at me. So then we set up, we're doing this, and they were about to come in. So I walked over to him and I said, "Chris," I said, "Hey, I don't, no hard feelings." I said, "I'm just looking out for the best of the party and my client." I said, "Can we just start over here and just wipe the slate clean?" And he kind of begrudgingly said, yeah, okay. All right. It's like, God, because he was mad. He was outwardly angered that he had to do all that, but it was ridiculous.
Well,
so
okay,
dessert.
Okay.
So
to play devil's advocate here, it'd be like if somebody came up to you and said, I don't know, something that is just contrary to the way you always do things, and it's not their gig, right? It's like if the roles were reversed and the captain came up to you and said, "Oh, remember the story I told you about the caterer that said if you don't start with celebration, you're never coming back here again?"
Right.
Something like that. I mean, that would rub you the wrong way. I mean, I kind of get it.
It would totally rub me the wrong way. But but my whole thing is what's best for the party.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just saying, I'm cutting him a little slack.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was fine. We didn't have lunch or anything the following week, but he was fine by the end of the party because we did a nice job and the party went really well. And he could see that we kind of knew what we were doing. And so.
Have you been back to that venue?
Probably, but it's different captains, different times. It's not the same guy all the time. It was a big enough hotel where you've got, 4 or 5 different captains in the room that could have been, right, because there's 5 or 6 different ballrooms.
So you never crossed paths with him again after that?
No, never again. So
well, you know what though, Gil, you taught him a lesson. You schooled him, and hopefully he changed the way he does things.
But you know what?
So that you
I wasn't mean about it because I could have done that. Because I could have done that and not said a word to him. You know, I walked up to him and said, I didn't want any hard feelings. I didn't.
Right.
Want him to be upset about it, and I was just, because I didn't have to say anything. I could have been a total tool.
Right.
About it, and just got and strutted around going, ha ha ha. Don't mess with me, and I've seen guys do that.
Well, I've seen you do that on so many different little things. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that with my hands on my hip, right?
One foot up like the captain.
Yeah, exactly. With the captain's hat on. Right. No, I've seen guys do that. I've seen guys piss off captains of the room and caterers, and I'm the DJ and the MC is like copying an attitude, thinking, having that complex of like, I'm running the show. And, you don't do that. You don't do that. You want it to be a team thing. You want everyone, a team effort for the client, and you want everyone on your side. You don't want people to possibly sabotage you, because I've had people sabotage me, but not for that reason, just because they weren't thinking. But you don't want that. And I always thought to myself, heck no, I'm going to be nice to everybody. I want everybody on my side. That's why when I finally started my own company 18 years ago, everybody would refer me because I was really easy to work with. I had that mentality of like, I want to make your life easier. What can I do to make your life easier, Mr. Photographer, Mr. Videographer, Mr. Caterer, Mr. Captain of the Room? I want whatever you need me to do so that this runs smoothly for everyone.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well. All right, Gil, I know people are going to want to reach out to you. What's the best way for them to contact you?
ZanigEntertainment.com on the web. Also, Zanig Entertainment West Coast on Facebook. We have a podcast, mitzvahpartypodcast.com.
Oh, I'm familiar
on the web.
With that.
Yeah, and also on Facebook. mitzvahpartypodcast.com on Facebook as well. Our phone number is 818-980-9099. 980-9099. So please get a hold of us any way you can. And if you have any input on what we're doing, we would love to hear from you.
We would love to hear from you. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode of the Mitzvah Party Podcast. This is Clinton. On behalf of Gil, we will see you next time.